Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, grilled on Blake Lively in contentious interview.
Blake Lively is spiraling as Justin Baldoni's lawyer hits her hard with undeniable evidence.
So Friedman added, I've represented a lot of people in the worst moments of their careers, the worst moments of their life, and Justin has been destroyed by this.
She's now accused of having an emotional affair with Baldoni while pretending her marriage to Ryan Reynolds is rock solid. The perfect Hollywood wife act completely exposed, and Blake's losing control fast.
Blake Lively was laughing and having a good time, and no one could really see that there's anything off here.
She was gonna stroll into court, cry some crocodile tears, and have the whole world bow down to her. But sweetie, that's not how this one's playing out.
Basically, Blake Lively-Justin Baldoni cases likely won't settle before trial, and this is according to Justin's lawyer.
The woman had an absolute courtroom breakdown the second Justin Baldoni's lawyer, Brian Friedman, dropped the bombshell of the century. You could literally see the panic creep across her face.
Can you say with certainty that your client did not harass her?
I can say that with certainty that my client is one of the most honorable people I've ever met.
Because guess what? Brian wasn't there to play her PR games. No settlement, no apology, no cute little press release to clean this up. Nope, he basically told everyone she's gonna have to face the music, live in court for the whole world to watch.
Because this is about a man's reputation. This is about multiple people whose lives have been turned upside down, accusations that have been thrown out that need to be proven.
Now let's rewind real quick in case you missed how messy this all got. Blake Lively, the same Blake who loves to parade herself as Hollywood's golden girl, filed sexual harassment claims against Justin Baldoni back in late 2023. Yep, right in the middle of filming It Ends With Us. Timing couldn't have been more suspicious.
So Friedman added, I've represented a lot of people in the worst moments of their careers, the worst moments of their life, and Justin has been destroyed by this. This is a really serious thing.
Right? Like, she wrapped up her scenes, smiled for the cameras, and the moment the director yelled cut, lawsuit time. But here's the kicker. Instead of quietly settling this like 95% of civil cases do, Blake's team walked straight into a disaster.
And in this day and age, the only way you can truly get back is to prove your innocence. And he noted how trials are now important to prove your innocence.
Enter Brian Friedman. The man is a legal beast, and he did not mince words when he appeared on the Town podcast just this March 2025.
He sat down and chatted in a new podcast interview, and he had a lot to say.
He straight up said, there's no chance, Zero, that this circus is ending with a settlement. Now, let that sink in, because when a seasoned Hollywood lawyer tells you settlement isn't even an option, you know you're in deep.
So 3 months after Blake Lively levied SH allegations on the set of It Ends With Us, Justin Baldoni's lawyer admitted that a settlement likely isn't in the forecast.
And Blake, she looked like she'd seen a ghost when that little soundbite made its way into the courtroom. Gone was the smug, poised actress. She sat there visibly emotional, probably realizing the game she was playing just flipped on her, and it's about to get uglier. But it gets better. Brian wasn't done. He laid it out plain and simple. Justin Baldoni has been destroyed. Not damaged, not hurt, destroyed. Professionally, personally, financially.
So the high-profile litigator Brian Friedman noted that his client has been destroyed by this. His words.
All thanks to Blake's little stunt. Let's be honest, Blake thought she'd drop some allegations, get sympathy points, and watch Justin fade away quietly. But nope, Friedman is making sure everyone knows exactly how much carnage she's caused.
But these types of cases take a massive personal toll. They take a huge financial toll. It's really, really difficult. And for them, it's not a game, right? For them, it's not entertainment, and it shouldn't be, because this is about a man's reputation.
Both sides had the chance to settle this. Hell, they even had mediation offers on the table in early February 2025. But no, Blake's team refused to budge. They refused every olive branch tossed their way, probably because she was banking on some magical PR spin fixing this. It didn't.
Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni both refused to meet with the mediator and potentially have a settlement. So, what was true in February, it seems nothing much has changed.
And here's the real gag. The host of the Town podcast even suggested that maybe, just maybe, if Blake issued a public apology, there could be room for settlement. But Blake's ego, too big to fit through that courtroom door. Her team rejected that outright. Imagine being so high on your own lies that you'd rather risk everything than just apologize.
The only thing that would really make a settlement possible would be an apology.
Meanwhile, Baldoni's drowning in multi-million-dollar legal fees, career opportunities down the drain, and a public reputation trashed because of one woman's obsession with controlling the narrative.
I can't see that happening anytime soon. So Friedman then said, you keep referring to it as a circus, and I get it. You see a lot of cases, you see a lot of things, and you do a great job. But the reality is this is not a circus when you go through an experience like this.
But Hollywood didn't stop there. Nope, the universe decided to throw Blake another curveball. Because on March 18th, 2025, UK's ITN Productions released the one thing Blake's PR machine couldn't bury, a 90-minute bombshell documentary called He Said, She Said, Blake Lively versus Justin Baldoni.
There is a new documentary that has come out in the UK regarding Justin and Blake.
And let me tell you, this wasn't some cute fluff piece. This was straight up receipts, interviews, exclusive text messages, the whole dirty laundry aired out for the entire world to binge watch.
But yes, this documentary in particular was with England's ITN Productions.
Here's the hilarious part. Blake's team, completely blindsided. They didn't even see it coming. No fancy lawyers or publicists could stop it. They were scrambling behind the scenes while social media went wild. The hashtag Blake vs Baldoni started trending like wildfire. The documentary hit 5 million streams in its first weekend alone. 5 million. People tuning in to see Blake's carefully curated public image crumble in real time. You know Blake was probably texting her PR team in all caps. Damage control now.
Like, where is the evidence? She said she felt uncomfortable in the dancing scene. Justin Baldoni showed a video from the dancing scene. We couldn't see anything there.
And let's not forget, this wasn't just airing in the UK. No, it got scooped up by Investigation Discovery for the US audience, airing on March 31st, 2025, streaming on Max and Discovery Plus. So Blake couldn't even hide across the pond. Every text, every shady move, every behind-the-scenes moment she thought would stay private, front and center, worldwide.
And will stream on Max and Discovery Plus beginning on March 31st. And the documentary will chronicle the ins and outs of the Lively and Baldoni legal battle surrounding their 2024 film, It Ends With Us.
At this point, Blake must be regretting ever thinking she could play Puppet Master here, because no amount of courtroom tears, no cute Instagram family posts, no carefully worded statements are gonna save her from what's coming next. This case isn't just about allegations anymore. It's about her ego, her lies, and the absolute wreckage she left behind thinking she'd come out untouchable. Sorry, Blake. Hollywood loves a downfall story, and right now yours is selling better than any rom-com you've ever done.
There was more discussion about the dance scene footage. And again, this is the same person who looked at the dance footage from before. So
now here's where it gets really awkward for Blake Lively. So the same woman who's been running around waving her victim card like it's a golden ticket just got completely exposed by none other than an intimacy coordinator.
Mia's take on the video was that it didn't prove Justin's case. It actually backed up Blake's, which a lot of people disagreed with, and it caused a lot of controversy. So I was interested that Mia spoke for this documentary.
Yep, this wasn't some random Twitter thread. This was Mia, a professional whose resume includes Apple TV's Lessons in Chemistry and HBO's Perry Mason. Not exactly lightweight credentials, and Mia didn't hold back in the documentary. Oh no, she came in swinging with receipts that Blake Lively, Ms. I'm So Traumatized, actually showed genuine affection and trust towards Justin Baldoni during filming.
And HBO's Insecure and Perry Mason weighed in on the dramatic on-set feud between the It Ends With Us co-stars, which is now the subject of multiple lawsuits.
Let that marinate for a second. This whole lawsuit, this whole circus Blake's been parading around town hinges on the idea that Justin made her feel unsafe, uncomfortable, whatever. And now we've got a seasoned industry expert reading through their private texts, looking at how they interacted, and basically calling BS.
From reading the text messages, I do get the sense that at one point there was genuine affection between them and what felt like a friendship. Now, Mia was not involved in the making of It Ends With Us, which I guess is a good thing because it's a neutral voice.
According to Mia, Blake delaying her meeting with the intimacy coordinator was a major red flag because actors only do that when they trust their scene partner.
But Mia also went on to say, in my experience, when an actor says, I don't need to meet the intimacy coordinator until we're shooting, as much as it hinders my process, it does typically indicate that they trust their scene partner.
It's literally standard protocol. You delay that meeting, you're saying, yeah, I'm good with this person, I feel safe. But I guess Blake didn't think anyone would connect the dots. She thought people would just see her cry on cue and believe everything she said.
I think a lot of us did feel that there was a lot of potentially manipulation going on.
This completely wrecks her whole harassment narrative. Public opinion shaken. People who once lined up to support her now side-eyeing every move she makes. And it gets even better because this isn't Mia's first rodeo with Blake. Remember the infamous dance scene footage? The one Blake's team swore proved her case? Yeah, Mia analyzed that too. And get this, she said it actually helped Blake.
And again, this is the same person who looked at the dance footage.
Which sparked a whole war online because a ton of people disagreed. Fans, media experts, everyone was divided, but Mia still stood by her take. So now with this new twist, Blake's stuck in a web of contradictions. One minute she's a victim, the next minute she's texting Justin like they're besties and skipping out on safety protocols because she trusts him. Girl, pick a struggle.
One of the scenes that Blake Lively has apparently also complained about that she felt uncomfortable in shooting. This video that's been leaked that is on Reddit showed that Blake Lively was laughing and having a good time, and no one could really see that there's anything off here.
Now let's talk about another PR nightmare for Team Lively, Hugh Jackman. Yes, Wolverine himself is now tangled up in this disaster, and it's not because he wanted to be, it's because Baldoni's legal team is dragging him in for a court deposition. Turns out Hugh's long-standing friendship with Ryan Reynolds might not be as harmless as those cutesy social media posts suggest. There's speculation that Hugh was actually involved in on-set dynamics and, wait for it, alleged pressure tactics during It Ends With Us. That's right, they weren't just hanging out, laughing about coffee orders and gym sessions. There were power plays happening behind the scenes, and Hugh was in it.
Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, will be deposed, and I suspect that might be making Ryan Reynolds extremely nervous, and I'll tell you why.
And get this, right when all this lawsuit drama started heating up, Hugh randomly announced his divorce in September 2023. Yeah, after 27 years of marriage, and people instantly called it for what it was, a PR stunt. Because of course, what better way to distract from legal messiness than to drop a big personal bombshell and soak up some sympathy? Classic Hollywood move.
Love interest of his best friend's wife, and the guy trying to replace Ryan as a husband, and me as his best mate. Holy what the hell are you doing messing with my best buddy's wife?
But it didn't work. Now his role in Marvel's upcoming films is in serious jeopardy. The fan favorite might just get the boot, all because his buddy Reynolds decided to go full scorched earth on Justin Baldoni's career. Hugh tried to stay out of it, but now he's in too deep, and the consequences are looking career-ending. And speaking of Ryan Reynolds, let's just say he's not exactly coming out of this clean. Baldoni's team is now digging into claims that Reynolds tried to blackball Justin in Hollywood. That's right, behind the scenes, this guy allegedly tried to make sure Baldoni never worked again. We're talking full-on sabotage mode.
Well, actually what I said last time is, of the 92-8 split, which is 92% of cases settled and 8 don't, this does meet criteria of being within that 8%. Because it's intensely personal.
And it wasn't just rumors. Specific incidents from 2024 filming have been flagged where Reynolds allegedly inserted himself into production decisions. Like, bro, you're not the director. Why are you even there? Oh wait, because your wife is spiraling and you need to control the narrative. Makes sense.
You don't want to believe that execs at the very tippity top are being essentially threatened or bullied or coerced or extorted, and by a couple like Ryan and Blake or like Taylor Swift, right?
And it doesn't stop there. Popcorn Planet's been on this like a hawk, and they speculate that Reynolds directed promotional skits specifically designed to throw shade at Baldoni. Imagine being so obsessed with power that you're out here crafting skits to tank someone's reputation. You'd think he'd have better things to do with 4 kids and a so-called perfect marriage. But nope, apparently ruining Justin's life was higher on the priority list.
He was, in fact, a part of the bullying that happened to Justin Baldoni.
And here's the smoking gun. Leaked emails tracing Reynolds' influence over media headlines, gossip sites, and entertainment news outlets. Dude was out here playing puppeteer, pulling strings so every article made Baldoni look worse, while Blake looked like Saint Blake of Hollywood.
And so I think there could be some argument about whether it was leaked and shouldn't have been leaked, and should they have the information or what it may be, but no matter what happens, this is a damning quote.
And the cost of this little vendetta? $10 to $15 million in lost projects for Baldoni. That's the kind of damage you don't just recover from. Reynolds didn't just gossip, he went for the man's livelihood. And for what? To cover for his wife's lies and his own insecurities?
Like financial resources to trying to convince the public that these bromances are perfectly normal. And we're not really asking for that convincing. Like, I don't need people to convince me that guys can hang out with one another, but he feels like he has to make that effort. So he's like, nothing's weird here, nothing's weird. Bromances are so normal.
So now we've got Blake Lively exposed for possibly trusting the very man she accused, Hugh Jackman getting dragged to court with his PR divorce strategy flopping, and Ryan Reynolds caught red-handed trying to destroy another man's career behind the scenes. And yet somehow Blake's out here still pretending she's the victim. Girl, take a seat. Actually, take several, because your whole house of cards is collapsing, and everyone's watching.
So that's really a huge win for Justin Baldoni.
And just when you thought Blake Lively couldn't get more embarrassing, the beard theory comes storming back like an uninvited guest at her perfectly curated Hollywood dinner party. Yeah, the whispers are louder than ever. Blake, the ultimate PR queen, allegedly playing the role of the perfect wife while Ryan Reynolds keeps his carefully polished public image intact.
He's also very charismatic. Like a gay guy.
Is Blake Lively a beard? Like, is she there just to produce kids and to give him that family image?
Because nothing says traditional family man like 4 kids, matching outfits, and a marriage held together by contracts and crisis PR teams. And while everyone's swooning over Blake's storybook romance, media outlets are too busy digging up all the dirt. Specifically, those pesky rumors about her cozy little connection with none other than Justin Baldoni. Oh yeah, Blake's got layers, and none of them are flattering.
And like trying to normalize all of these gay jokes, but nobody's actually asking him to do that.
Let's talk about those leaked texts. You know, the ones that basically scream, "I trust you way more than my husband." Yep, the same texts that hint at a close, possibly intimate rapport between Blake and Justin during the 2023 filming of It Ends With Us. The same Justin she later threw under the bus with harassment claims. Make it make sense.
It's intensely personal. It's getting more personal. They're going to discover more information that's going to make them angry. They're out to salvage their reputation, so there's not going to be an easy way to walk away from this and say, okay, let's just call it a day.
Blake's public persona is all strong, independent woman, but behind the scenes, she's allegedly texting her co-star like she's auditioning for another rom-com, except this one ends in legal disaster. And the best part, these leaked messages completely contradict the sob story she's been peddling to the media. It's like she forgot screenshots exist.
Juries don't like liars. Trials are about credibility.
Industry insiders aren't even pretending anymore. They've been pointing out how Blake's image has been painstakingly curated for years. Perfect wife, perfect mom, perfect actress. Except now the cracks are so obvious, even her own PR team can't plaster over them fast enough. By February 2025, legal filings dropped fresh allegations of relationship manipulation and defamation tactics coming straight from Blake's camp. Yup, not only is she allegedly sabotaging her marriage with emotional affairs, but she's also out here weaponizing the media like it's part of her skincare routine. And honestly, it's not even subtle at this point.
She wants different rules for her than she wants for Baldoni and his team, which I don't think the judge will agree with.
But you know Blake and Ryan, Hollywood's favorite power couple. They weren't about to let the narrative spiral without calling in reinforcements. Enter their favorite fixer, Nick Shapiro, an ex-CIA guy, because when your marriage is falling apart and your lawsuit's in flames, naturally you hire someone whose resume includes spying. Gotta love how Blake and Reynolds have been burning through an estimated $2 to $3 million on PR management since this lawsuit kicked off, all to make sure they keep up appearances while everything behind the curtain turns to ash.
So her testimony is super important in this case, and if you can show the jury that she's lied, juries don't like liars.
And let's not forget Ryan's classic move, weaponizing his endless string of bromances. Jake Gyllenhaal, Hugh Jackman, you name a Hollywood bro, and Reynolds has probably used him to distract from whatever mess he and Blake are dealing with that week. These bromances aren't just random friendships, they're a whole PR strategy.
Love interest, I'll be best friend's wife, and the guy trying to replace Ryan as a husband, and me as his best mate. Holy what the hell are you doing messing with my best buddy's wife?
Keep the headlines light, post a few cheeky tweets, and maybe no one will notice your wife's entire legal case falling apart. Genius, right? Except now, court documents are pulling back the curtain, and everyone's seeing exactly how calculated all of this is.
Ryan's kind of perpetually highly publicizing his bromances is something that I find to be quite strange, right? Mostly because he's a 48-year-old man, Ryan Reynolds. He has 4 kids. And he seems to dedicate a lot of time and resources.
And it's not just fans catching on. Media outlets, peers, even Hollywood insiders are finally calling them out. The hypocrisy is glaring. The perfect family image, manufactured. The endless couple goals posts, fabricated. The victim narrative Blake's been selling since 2023? Yeah, no one's buying it anymore. Turns out, when you spend millions controlling the narrative and smearing someone else's reputation, people eventually notice. And once those leaked documents hit, it's been a PR bloodbath.
She said that it made her really uncomfortable when Jamie Heath showed nude photos of his wife giving birth. We've seen the photo. We can't see any private parts in the photo.
Now, fast forward to summer 2025, and Blake's carefully polished world is literally crumbling right in front of everyone. There's no settlement in sight. All those courtroom outbursts, the stress, the visible breakdowns, it's the pressure boiling over. She thought she could cry her way through this, post some cute family photos, and skate by on goodwill. But Baldoni's team is playing chess while she's still trying to flip the checkers board.
Blake Lively, Jenny Slate, Brendan Sklenar. They removed Justin Baldoni's name from the film. One thing is to remove it from the poster, as we've seen, but they also removed it from the cast, the list of the cast for the movie.
Meanwhile, Brian Friedman is steady, not backing down. That documentary exposure wrecked her image even more, and with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds' depositions looming, public opinion has shifted hard. Everyone's clocking Blake's manipulations now. No more victim halo, no more perfect wife act, just a woman backed into a corner, realizing too late that the web of lies she spun is catching her instead.
He is being awarded for his contributions with a deposition, all right?
And just when you think it can't get messier, Popcorn Planet's got another documentary lined up, ready to unload even more receipts. Every time Blake's team tries to clean up, someone else dumps another pile of evidence in the public square. It's like a never-ending car crash. Horrifying, but impossible to look away from. Now here's the question everyone's asking. How long can Blake's empire hold up under all this? How much longer before the whole facade collapses completely? Because right now, it's looking like Justin Baldoni's legal team is about to torch whatever reputation she had left. Blake's empire is crumbling. Stay tuned because this drama's just getting started. Don't forget to subscribe for all the explosive updates.